Hey guys, welcome to The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. It's funny. She's laughing already. That's a great title, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I didn't even know the title.
Wait, I didn't tell you the title?
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah, it's my, so, okay, yeah, it's the title of my podcast, but it was also one of my like, I don't want to say popular, but like a hashtag I would use a lot when I would post pictures, just to be funny, like The Camera Adds 10 Pounds, because if you see yourself on camera, that is true.
It's very true.
But I just think it's funny, and it's just a funny name. So I'm Peter Surs, the host of this podcast, and my guest today is Ari. You can say hello.
Hello.
How do you say your actual first name?
So you did Ari, which is really good. A lot of people can't even do that. My full name is Ariadne.
Ariadne.
Yeah.
Does that mean something in like?
It does.
Greek?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's Greek mythology.
Oh, see, I was just guessing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of Greeky.
It's definitely not American English.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're Greek.
I am Greek.
And so where does the name come from? So
it's Theseus and the Minotaur is the myth. So she lives in this giant castle with her dad, who's horrible. And this guy, he keeps a minotaur in the basement of the palace in a maze. And he kind of put this thing out that was like, anyone who can slay the minotaur. I can't remember if it's like you can marry my daughter or you can do something. I don't know what it is. So
Minotaur's like a bull kind of creature, right?
It is. Whatever this is, it's a monster. Maybe it's not a minotaur. I think it is a minotaur. It's
but he has
half man, half bull.
Yeah, he like walks on.
Yes.
Yeah, he's upright.
Yes, exactly. So
bipedal.
Exactly. So no one can kill, or everyone that gets to the minotaur either dies by the minotaur or can't get out of the maze.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ariadne. Actually, this one guy comes, Theseus, and he's like, this is it. I'm going to fucking do it. And he goes to the maze. She meets him at the bottom of the maze. Why she picks him of all people, we don't know. And gives him string. And is like, I'm going to give you the string so you can make your way back out of the maze. Did you say
string?
String. Yeah, literally a string.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she gives him string so that he knows how to get back out of the maze once he's done it. He does it. Many endings to the story. One, he takes her with him once he leaves the island. One, he leaves her. One, he takes her and she dies. This is my favorite ending. She dies. And Dionysus, the god of like food and sex, thinks she's so beautiful that he makes her a demigoddess.
Wow.
That's my preferred ending, sort of.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah, me neither.
Myths are great.
I'm only familiar with like some Greek mythology.
I feel like most of us are.
Like Marvel. Thor, the god of thunder.
I mean, it's really similar. They're probably all derived from that in some way.
And your last name is?
Vickers Davis.
You have two last names.
Yeah.
Hyphenated. Because I don't know why.
Well, my mom's a feminist and wanted to keep her name, but wanted us to have both. Okay. So really, my last name is just very unattractive.
No, I mean, if you look at it on paper, you're like, oh, she got married and she kept, but
right? I either have to like scrap my name, leave my name. I can't add another name.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, what's going to happen if you get married, when you get married?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I can't, what am I going to do?
Hyphenate another one?
Yeah, three last names. Has anyone done that?
Probably. There's I know there's somebody, this guy on the Dodgers, he's got like 4 names. He took his mom's last name and his dad's last name. So he's like,
really?
Are you a Dodger fan? Yeah. Russell, James, Coltrane, Martin, I think.
Oh,
I think the James, but Coltrane is his mom's last name and Martin's his dad's last name. Or the other way around. But we know him as Russell Martin. You know.
I mean, a long name. You're memorable.
So anyway, since you don't know about the podcast, I wanted to start. I started it mainly because, as we all know, I'm a comedian, actor, I guess, kind of, but also very into fitness.
Yes.
It's been a part of my life forever, and I wanted to bring light to people out there that there are people in the entertainment industry that aren't just blessed with good genetics and so forth. Like myself, like I'm not blessed with good genetics. So like some of us have to work at it.
Yes.
Especially like comedians, we're not really well known for being super fit and super healthy.
I think it's the reverse, maybe.
Oh, for sure. No, it's totally the reverse. That's why I'm like, no, I'm a comedian that does these things, so you can do it too, whatever your job is or whatever.
Kevin Hart's pretty ripped.
For sure. And he posts all about his fitness stuff.
It's true, he does.
And do you follow Kevin Hart?
I secretly, sometimes I'm like, let me check up on him.
Oh, so you will creep on his
yeah.
But you don't actually follow him?
What's that, like a silent follow? I do that
like
to all the Kardashians.
Really?
Yeah, I won't follow them, but I'll probably look at their pages every day.
Every day? All of them?
Yeah. Kourtney, I'm not as interested.
Okay. It's okay. You can say bad things about anybody on this podcast.
Thank you.
Okay. But so anyway, and then I thought, it's cool to have people in the entertainment industry, but I wanted to have you in here because I don't know, you probably know some of the story, but maybe not. I'm getting older. I'm getting older. And as I've gotten older, my body started to change. We all go through that.
Yeah.
But as, for myself, I started getting to the point where I was like getting sore a lot more. Recovery time takes a lot, more now. And I've always known, as someone that's, been in fitness for so long, the benefits of yoga.
Yeah.
But I don't like yoga. I didn't like yoga.
Yeah.
Okay. It's yoga. It's like, for me, like, for a lot of people out there, I'm sure they picture yoga as being, this spiritual experience, which, a lot of times it is sometimes.
It can be. Sure.
But for some people, that's a little too much for them.
It is.
Like they want to reap the benefits, but they don't want like chanting or breathing or namaste or just all those things, like the cliche things that go along and hugging each other, and it's weird. But I was at a point where I read a lot, and I read I'm not gonna I'll say the author because I don't know. I read a book called it's called Do You by Russell Simmons.
Oh, I'm a fan of him though.
I'm
a fan
of Russell Simmons.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I mean, I am too, but he had some Me Too shit pop up like a while back.
Well, he opened his own studio.
Correct, he did.
And then it closed because of his Me Too.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm all about the Me Too movement and everything. So it's just a weird thing because the thing with them happened so long ago, and there was like different stories as to what happened, and I don't know, man.
Who knows? I'm not knowledgeable enough to
I do. Neither am I. And I do know that his book, really spoke to me because it was just about putting things out in the universe and hard work. But he talked about yoga a lot, and I was like, okay. And he's also a big vegan, which
he's a hardcore yogi.
Yeah. And I mean, are you vegan? I feel like, you're not. Okay. I'm not either. But like he talked about it a lot, and I'm like, all right, dude, I can't. But then I read another book by him that's called, I think it's called Be Rich or Think Rich or something about rich, but it's not actually about wealth. It's more about like spiritual richness.
Okay.
So more yoga. Anyway, long story short, the common theme in several books I read was you should probably do yoga because along with the physical benefits, it's good for, helping you meditate and breathing, which is very important.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go take a yoga class. Because I had taken a couple at different points throughout.
That's everybody.
Yeah, and it was just like it wasn't a good experience for me.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of fitness type things, so it's like, and so then I went into the studio where you work, and I was like, like I said, I'm a guy. It's weird, and it's already like kind of. I don't want to say intimidating, but it's definitely something that's out of my element. But
it's interesting that you think that.
It was.
Meaning like it's more of a female driven?
For sure. Absolutely.
I agree.
Female or like, like pussy dudes. This is
that's true.
This is me 2 years ago.
That's true.
I've changed.
All right. But it is true. You think of that.
It's just stereotypes.
Yes.
And then you were there, and you were very polite. You're very, very welcoming, which is good because I was already kind of intimidated.
Oh.
But what got me about, the studio, can we say the name?
Yeah, Y7.
Yeah, Y7. Sure. We can give them a plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be like sold out now because we're talking about it on the podcast.
Yes.
But what got me about Y7 was that it was hip hop yoga, or at least as advertised.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, well, I can get down with that because I like hip hop, and
totally,
maybe that'll be something cool. And I don't think I knew that it was candlelight. but it was just like, I was just like, okay, hip hop. That makes it sound less guru-y.
It's more approachable.
Yeah.
Which is part of the brand.
Right.
The reason they
Genius.
started it, to make it approachable.
Yeah. And so, like I said, you're super polite. And I just remember being in, I've told this story on social media, but I don't think you saw this story.
I think I did.
So, Paul, don't laugh. Okay. I remember taking and it was really hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it was very challenging.
It's very, Y7's hard.
It was, right? Like it's an all levels class, quote unquote, but yeah, but people can go at their own pace and their own, they can push themselves. They can not push, they can, dial back, and you guys aren't like, in their face, like, come on, which,
no,
although
exactly.
you did have one instructor that used to do that. And I thought that was hilarious, but we'll talk about it. That person's not there anymore. We could talk about it afterwards.
Okay, I'm ready.
But I just remember, I didn't know that it was hot yoga. That part.
Oh, you did. Yeah. I'll find a lot of people.
I didn't know it was hot. Yeah. I didn't know it was hot yoga. And I just remember sweating so hard. And like I said, I work out a lot. So I was like, I don't know what's going on right now, but like I'm drenched in sweat.
Every guy that says that to me. Many men I find who haven't taken before are like, wow, I cannot. Like my boyfriend's friends came and they were like, I have never sweat like that in my life. Like, what was that?
But it's hot. So it's
hot,
like, it's like, how hot is it in the studio?
It's hard to say. Technically it's supposed to be between like 85 and 90.
Okay.
But it's infrared, so it's drier. So it's just a different feeling. Like
infrared's good.
Technically, infrared is good. Technically, it's supposed to like heat you from within, which I find feels hotter.
Heat me from within?
Mm-hmm, whatever that means. I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Someone just told me that and I was like, sounds good.
I'm sold. But I like I said, it was hard. It was challenging. And then for me too, as a guy, I have an ego. So it's like, well, I'm going to hold this position. Like, I'm not going to cop out now.
Yeah.
And then I remember like, just, you have a very distinctive way of teaching. Almost like a motherly quality.
Oh, thank you.
But like, I was like, you would just say things that were like I said, if you go to a lot of fitness classes or have just been to some instructors, it's like rah, and you feel like, at least I feel like, because I've been to so many, I can kind of see through like the bullshit.
Totally.
Like you're just you're just saying things that you think an instructor should say.
Yes, where you're just being like, oh, like this is what I need to say, or just bullshit, like vamping,
okay,
like
fillers. Perfect example. Okay, this is after. So we'll fast forward and then we'll go back.
Okay.
So I went to YC, I loved it.
Yes.
And then I was like, all right, I'm going to take some other yoga classes because I used to live right by the Hot 8 in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, okay.
And so, but it was just right by my house, huh?
Yeah, too hot. It's too hot. For me.
Super hot.
I used to work there actually.
Oh, really?
But,
the one in Sherman Oaks?
Great people, yes. Wonderful people.
When
but
the fuck did you work there?
Hot. I think I worked there in... I had to have worked there when you would have been going there.
Because I went when it was like brand new.
Yeah. I worked there for like the first year I was there.
WTF.
It was only Fridays at 10:30.
Okay, in the morning?
That was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I took a class there, and this instructor, I won't name names, this person was super cool, like, hugged me afterwards. It was like, I fell asleep in the class. It was a yin class, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the class, and, it was a yin class, so the instructor said that that's kind of normal.
Totally. Especially at first when you're not like super tuned into.
Yeah. Like I didn't know. And I was still new, but it was just like, it was right by my house, super convenient. So I was like, fell asleep. I was really embarrassed. I was like, I'm so sorry I fell asleep. She's like, no, it happens all the time. Yeah. I'm so glad you came, gave me a hug. Peter, like, it's so nice to meet you. I hope to see you again. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I like this girl. So then like I went back like again, and then she introduced herself to me, and I was like, you fucking bitch, dude. I thought we had a moment. You hugged me. She was like, it's so good to see you. And I was like, oh, cool. And then she introduced herself to me. I'm like, oh, now you're just full of shit. And it pissed me off. But then
I get that. I've done that.
But you didn't do it to me though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But then I remember during class, or like towards the end, she was like, it was a girl. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But she was like, something like, just teaching just gives me such a rush, you guys. Like, I just really appreciate it. I just live for teaching you. I was like, all right, dude. It's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
There's so much ego in teaching yoga, I think.
You think?
Yes, but I think it's heavily veiled because it's yoga. I think teaching in general, you're putting yourself sort of on a
for sure. I read ClassPass reviews and I'm like, oh, this fucking bitch.
Yes, 100%. Don't we all? I mean, I think,
or dick, because it could be a dude. But at the gym that I deal with, that I work at, it's usually girls.
Yes.
So.
Well, yeah, ClassPass generally. But no, there's so much ego in teaching. I'm guilty of it.
But I just remember you like, okay, so this is the part I was going to say. Like, you would say things and I don't even remember what they were, but it was just like, yeah, like I feel like this girl has like powers. I've said it before. I'm like, she has like she's like a fairy. Like maybe she's Wiccan or something. I don't know, dude. But like, this is so cool. And I remember like sitting there at the end of class, and I've done this sometimes in other classes for different reasons, but like at the end of class, like I kind of cried a little bit and I was like, God, what is wrong with me? And so then somebody told me that, depending on what you believe or whatever, but that I have like empath, like like I have empathic.
Someone told you that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were like, so it could have a girl.
Okay, someone who has them.
Or knows of them or whatever.
Feels the vibe.
And was like, you're an empath. And I don't even know what that is. I had to like Google it, of course. And I was like, yeah, maybe. So like, she's like, you could have been absorbing somebody else's energy.
That's true.
Or you could have just felt a certain way. Cause like, okay, like I know like sometimes when I'm like doing boxing or something, like I'll push myself so hard that I will come to tears because I'm like, yeah, like I did it. So like, I don't know what it was, but I did cry in your class.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I hope no one sees me. This is fucking weird, dude.
It's dark, man. It's dark.
It is dark. And so no one sees me. But I just remember like, I was like, this girl, she knows her shit, but like she knows how to say the right things, but I don't, like I believed it from you.
Yeah.
As opposed to like when I go to other places. And it got me wanting to come back.
Totally.
And I would come back. I was coming regularly for like a while. I mean, I still go regularly, but now our schedules just don't work, so I never get to see. Because you used to teach on Sundays.
Yeah, that was my time slot, 2 to 4.
And I loved because Sundays, like I would play baseball, and then I would just go to yoga.
What
and
a
I was
good
like,
combo!
For sure, I'm the only person that does that. Or like I'll go to like I'll do anything, and then I'll go do like I do 2-a-days. Like fairly often, but like different type of things.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta mix it up.
So I just wanted, that's what mainly was like you being there, whether it was fate or whether it got me like opening up my mind about yoga and like wanting to continue and like, I like Y7 specifically.
Same.
But I like your style. Like I don't love everybody's teaching style.
That's normal.
And it's totally normal.
It's gonna be life. People don't like mine sometimes. Like
really?
Is the way it is.
Fuck those people. Every time someone asks me, I'm like, I'm like, go to Aries class. Just go, dude, and you'll thank me later. I like Melissa too.
Melissa's energy.
She's like,
there's no one else on earth like her.
She's like, she definitely has good energy, and like, I feel like she's like a little kooky, but like in the best way.
In the best way. She's so authentic to who she is that you could never falter. And I think there's almost this, you're drawn to what she's putting out because you're like, wow, you are so wild and kooky, but just so like, I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like she's one of the sweetest people I ever
met. I remember I was in her class one time and she always like, yoga, you guys use a lot of, is it like a
Sanskrit?
Yeah, what's the like the is it Sanskrit? What's the language that all the words Sanskrit, right? Yeah, Sanskrit. See, I know this because
You're a yogi.
I've looked into this, and she's always like yelling out like random like, oh, and today we're gonna do and one time it was like she had this like we were like kind of like beating our stomachs with our fists. Like grinding it out, and she's like, and it's okay if you pass gas. It's totally normal in this. And I'm like, yo,
I want to say I was in that class. She literally, one class did that and talked about like, some of us might have to have a big poop after this.
It's like hilarious, dude.
Too, yeah.
So anyway, so I would like for you, if you don't mind, kind of explaining how you got into yoga, why. Because I think there's numerous benefits, not just the hot yoga, but for like, for me, that's what worked for me. Hip hop, hot yoga, candlelight. Yeah. That kind of opened the door for me. And now I'm not opposed to going to other places, but I still like that style.
Totally.
But yeah, let's talk about your yoga history.
Journey.
Yeah.
It's funny. I get asked this question a lot, and in trainings, you get asked this question a lot. And I feel like I have a different answer every time. I technically started like my physical practice of yoga via my mom. Like when I went to my first class. Yeah.
Your mom, she's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer.
But she teaches yoga.
Her Insta handle, you guys, is Lawyer Yogi Mom.
Right.
I'm going to give her a little plug, give her a follow. So she has been practicing forever. And I went to my first class when I was like 14.
Okay.
Hated it. Hated it.
And this is in Florida. Where are you from?
Florida. Yes.
Yeah.
Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee, Florida. That's where Florida State is, yes?
Yeah, FSU, Seminoles.
Is that where you went?
No. I went to school in North Carolina, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still kind of be
on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
And I went when I was 14, and I remember being so annoyed because there weren't any clocks. I was like, just sort of like, let me know how much time is fucking left here. No clocks anywhere. And I remember just laying down in the middle of it and being like, I'm done, bye. And so I didn't go back, I want to say, for quite a few years.
So that's how I was when I first started doing
right? Like the first time you go, you're like, what is this shit? I don't have the patience for this.
Right.
And I danced. I did ballet for around 12 years, I think. So it's a fairly long time.
From when to when?
From, I want to say like 5, 6, or 7, all the way up till I was about like 15 or 16.
Okay.
So a long time. So movement has always been something that's big in my life. And I finished, I quit ballet. I didn't finish it. I quit. I was like, I'm over this. And my mom was kind of like, you can't sit around the house. This is the classic mom move. So I sort of started to go with her more. I ended up breaking up with my first boyfriend. Oh, sad. But I remember I went and took a class with my mom that night because she was like, you're in this bad space. Like, we got to go do this. And I remember being in Shavasana at the end of the class and having this feeling of like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I shed a single tear, probably.
Okay, see? So like me.
Exactly. Yeah, this moment. And Shavasana is such a powerful moment after doing this physical work and also being asked to think about broader things.
Yeah, explain to them what it is.
Okay, Shavasana is essentially Sanskrit word. Shavasana, the translation is literally corpse pose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's a space after yoga where I wouldn't necessarily consider it a meditation per se, but some do, where you essentially let like the physical aspects of your practice kind of settle in. And I think it's really amazing because no other styles of workout have that time.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but a moment to let everything settle and to kind of be with yourself. And anytime that you work out in an intense physical way, you're a little more raw. Yeah. I really think. And so taking a second to be with what just happened can be powerful. Or it can just take a nap and feel good.
People, I do. That's the moment when I'm like, I could fall asleep right now.
Exactly. I've done it. I've done it many times.
Because you're breathing and if you're just concentrated on your breathing and it just relaxes you sometimes. It just happens.
Yeah, you just chill out. So that for me, that moment, I was like, oh, wow. Of course, I didn't do it for many years after that, as things go. And I studied abroad in college in London.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was actually a very lonely time for me.
In London?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was amazing. I was so lucky to have the opportunity to do it.
What did you study there?
It was hard. I mean, nothing. I don't know. You know what I mean? You take classes to party. That's sort of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I took some cool classes, some classes where I was like, bye. I took a class on Islam that was very interesting. That's random, but I found it very interesting.
Yeah.
So I started practicing yoga there a lot more. Because I was
London.
like, I had the studio around the corner. I was kind of a little lonely. I had a lot of free time. And I started going a fair amount. And I was like, oh, like, this is it. Kind of the feeling you have when you leave of, I feel so much better than when I walked in.
When you leave like a yoga class.
Exactly. And that's sort of what spurred me to keep coming back. And I think eventually what spurs everyone to continue to come back is the feeling you get after. And I graduated college and I was an acting major.
I didn't know that.
I was. I BFA in acting, Elon University.
Where?
Elon.
Elon in North Carolina?
Elon in North Carolina.
Are you familiar with Elon? I don't know their mascot, and I feel bad because I'm usually pretty good about that.
It's a phoenix.
Oh, shit.
They don't, football team.
A phoenix?
It's a phoenix, yeah.
Shut up.
Because the whole campus, they were initially fighting Christians around 19-something. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Thankfully for them, I don't know, somewhere in 19 something. The whole campus, maybe it was 18. The whole campus like burned.
Ironic.
Yeah, sort of ironic. So then, lucky for them, they became
They rose.
They rose from the ashes. Yeah, good soccer team. I think
I've heard of it. I'm usually pretty good about like mascots or like area codes.
Your thing?
Just like area codes and college mascots.
Oh,
like
area codes.
Yeah. 850.
Wow.
I know.
Well, that's like a savant gift.
Pomona? Oh, that's 909. That's easy.
Oh my God.
That's it. But I'm like kind of from that area. So
okay.
That's it. Yeah, that one's
850, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
There's a couple like 305 is Miami. Like it's just silly.
If you listen to a single Pitbull song,
course.
like
he says it in every song.
He literally does.
So you studied abroad, did yoga there.
Studied abroad, did yoga there, loved it. Graduated.
You were a theater major? Were you studying theater in London?
No. Well, slightly. I think maybe actually I wasn't. Never mind. It was more just an opportunity to go abroad and be abroad. Like that was the,
you were like
the moment.
19, 20.
Yeah, I was. I turned 21 the first night I was there.
Perfect.
Perfect, but also like I could already drink, so it was a little anticlimactic.
Because you could drink when you're 18 there, yeah?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it was exciting to come back, but also it was like anticlimactic 21st birthday. But anyway, I graduated school, and I think any college graduate, you have this initial feeling of like, regardless of your major, like, well, what the fuck now? Like, do I get a job? What do I do? And especially as an acting major.
I like hearing you cuss here. Because when you teach, you don't.
I'm taking my class now. I'm pretty bad.
Good for you. I get complaints, but it's whatever.
Do you really? I've never gotten a complaint.
But it's, you know what it is? It's because, not for cussing, but more so like, because I'm funny. But like not everyone realizes that I'm being funny.
They're mad because you're funny.
No, they just like, when people that aren't comedians, let's say, tell a joke, they laugh to let you know that they just told a joke. Whereas I don't have to fucking laugh, dude. True. You just need to get my joke.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
So
I mean, it makes sense. But I'm shocked I haven't gotten flagged yet. We'll see. Knock on wood. So very much diving into the unknown and not knowing what to do. I knew I was going to move to LA with my very good friend Sam. But I was like, I love yoga. Why don't I just do my teacher training in between? And teaching yoga can kind of be my backup, my plan B job, whatever. Went into it because I really enjoy the physical practice. And I think being an actor and having been on stage and having to perform in front of people sets you up really well. And you probably know this.
For sure.
Because if you think about it, occasionally a class can feel like a minor performance.
It's open mic all day long.
It is.
They just don't realize.
Exactly. It is. You're testing out jokes all the time, I'm sure.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. You got to test out first.
My funniest, it's not my funniest, but like in class. Because a lot of times people ask me if the mirrors are skinny mirrors. And I'm like, every mirror is a skinny mirror if you're skinny. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but also offensive, but hilarious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, there's no such thing as a skinny. Like, you're either skinny or you're not. It's not the fucking mirror, dude. But.
Yeah, this isn't a fun house. I'm sure some people are like, "Are you?" I
tweeted that. I said, there's only a such thing as a fat mirror if you're in a fun house. I tweeted that like 3 days ago. Hilarious.
Yes, it is hilarious.
So you came out here.
I came out here. I did my teacher training actually in New York. Oh. I spent a month in New York.
Did the Y7 teacher training or just general?
I went to a place called Laughing Lotus. I highly recommend it.
What's it called?
Laughing Lotus.
Is there like jokes involved?
No. I mean, no, not on purpose by any means. Yeah, I don't know why they call it
ironic.
Lotus. It is ironic. I mean, they're funny. They're kind of like the Y7 of spiritual yoga to me.
Okay.
They're really music driven, but you're going to chant, you're going to you're going to play the harmonium.
See, chanting's weird for me, even still.
I get it. And I get it because it is kind of like, I've definitely been to some classes where they're like, and let's chant. And you're kind of like, I'm not involved in this. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of out of the loop. I've been to places though where they give you the paper and they're like, this is what we're doing. Or they do a call and response.
Like a chant kind of thing on paper?
If you go to Light on Lotus in Mar Vista, Venice, which is also Laughing Lotus, but the Laughing Lotus of LA, Kate, who's incredible, and she started the studio, she will like pass out little papers and that will give you an explanation, which then I think it's better because you're like, hey, I know you don't know this. Let me bring you in.
Yeah.
But I understand not liking it too. It's different. It's
just weird.
It is
like because I meditate now, which is also something that I learned. I mean, it started. Russell Simmons talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But then like others, like I read so much now. It's really weird. But that's a lot of other places, I just used to hate reading back in the day, and now I read.
Everyone sort of went through that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think what it is. At least with school, is like you're being told what to read.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah. And then when you kind of realize what you like and what entertains you or what interests you, then you can soak it all up. Because at least for me, I agree. I know people that hate reading, but it's
I find that with learning in general.
Yeah.
When I left school, I became so much more interested in reading and
stuff that you want.
Exactly. Because you're actually interested in, instead of like, oh, I got to figure this out even though I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Anyway.
So you did your teacher training in New York.
I did my teacher training in New York.
But you knew you were going to move to LA.
I did. It was a beautiful and hellish experience. I was commuting from Harlem to Chelsea every day.
Harlem? Mm-hmm. You were staying in Harlem?
I was staying in Harlem.
Shut up.
I want to say, I can't remember, East Harlem? I can't remember.
It's okay.
It was wonderful. I lived in the cute little apartment.
Did you ever go to the Apollo?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. There was some great food over there, though. But I was commuting every day. It's a really intense, transformative experience. And I would recommend it to anybody, regardless of if you feel like you're going to teach or not. But it's also really hard.
200 hours, right?
200 hours, yeah. I think I had spent a lot of my time focusing on the physical aspects of yoga, and that's only one part of yoga. It's one of the 8 limbs is asana, Sanskrit word for the practice. Yes.
Oh. I don't know.
Sanskrit word for the poses.
What was it? Asana?
Asana.
Yeah.
Asana.
Okay.
But too. And it really unlocked this more mindful aspect of the practice, which is all about finding the deeper part of yourself. It doesn't have to be spiritual by any means. I think it can more be translated to becoming more mindful and being present. Yeah. And really diving into yourself.
That's hard.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's hard. And it was very hard at that period of my life because I just graduated school. I was in a long distance relationship. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and also who I was all in one moment.
Right.
So I finished my 200 hours. I moved out to LA. I want to say like a couple months later. Like I went home for a couple months and worked at a law office or did something. And I moved out and I started teaching immediately. Like I used to teach out in West Covina.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's right by Pomona.
Yes.
That's right by Pomona.
Yes.
That's 626.
Oh my God. This is wild.
Yeah. I mean, California is easy, but like.
I mean, the fact that you got Florida is wild for me. Pretty cool. So I started teaching out in West Covina.
Where at? Where's the yoga studio?
It's not a yoga studio anymore, I don't believe, but it was called Yellow Fitness. Oh my God, how am I forgetting right now?
Like yellow?
Yellow yoga, or like yellow yoga. Covina,
was there like a lot of Asians there?
Covina. Yeah, and Hispanic people. It was a mixture, but it was a great group of people.
Paul got it. It's fine.
Yes, thank you. Also, so many people, maybe you'll get this, so many people who did Herbalife.
Of course.
I was literally like, everyone would come. All these people would come to my class who did Herbalife, I started to become friends with them. And then one of the guys, like every day, one of like the guys I was closer with would be like, that guy that just came in, he's so high up in Herbalife. He would literally be like, he's a fucking celebrity. I was like, wow, no. Great, amazing. I don't care.
I have this. One of my jokes is an Herbalife joke.
No way.
Yeah.
But it's so needed. Like I have my Greek family is like huge in Herbalife in Greece. Like those are their careers.
Wait, really?
Yes. And they'll still message me and be like, hello, Ariadne, I miss you so much. How are you doing? I'm doing this thing at Herbalife right now. And I'm like, I don't care.
Can you do the rest of this podcast in a Greek accent?
Yeah. That was really like authentic Greek accent. Yeah. Not at all.
So I have to tell my joke really quick.
I'm ready.
So long story short, my dad went to prison for meth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. So I do a little bit about that. And then I say having a dad that sells meth is a lot like having a dad that sells Herbalife supplements.
Oh, God.
Wait, hold on, it gets better.
Got it true.
It's very similar, except the stuff that my dad sold actually works. And usually people laugh. And then there's always like one, if like it's like a big enough crowd, there's always like one person in the crowd that's like, oh, or like they'll point to someone like that's the Herbalife person, and that's like the best.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they really are. There's like the corporate office over there, like by the airport.
Yeah.
And then they're like all over the place. Like it's interesting.
No, it's wild. My boyfriend's brother plays for the Galaxy, and one of their sponsors is Herbalife.
Shit. Oh yeah, that's right. It's on their shirts.
Yeah, it's on their shirts, and so there's always like Herbalife bars, Herbalife shakes.
Who's your boyfriend's brother?
Dave Romney.
Like I know soccer players. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I thought maybe I would know, but I don't.
Maybe no.
I don't.
Yeah, that's him. So they have Herbalife everywhere. Herbalife is everywhere.
Yeah.
And really, really hot at that studio. But I loved those people. It was fun, and it was a cool space to explore teaching. I was probably fucking horrible, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
And then I got hired by Y7 pretty quickly after moving out here. And that's, I think, when the reason I did yoga, practiced yoga, taught yoga kind of became more clear. And as I started to teach more, I started to realize that teaching is about being vulnerable and sharing that vulnerability with other people, and being okay with showing who you are and talking about things that people don't always feel really comfy talking about.
For sure.
And it doesn't have to be this crazy spiritual stuff. It can be as simple as like having the courage to tell someone how you feel, or to stop moving if you're having a really hard time, or be okay with getting frustrated. And I started to realize that my own personal journey was in being okay with being myself, whether that was physically practicing, teaching, or just living my life. And I think that's when I was like, oh, wow, this is why I feel like I'm so drawn to this. Is I loved acting and I enjoyed performing. But at the end of the day, I think I enjoyed showing who I was on a larger platform to maybe help other people be comfortable with showing who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I keep doing it.
Okay.
Why I love it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I also remember like, you know, you were saying things during class, like, I mean, I don't remember, but you know, it's stuff like, if this position's hard, you know, think about whatever it is in your life that's also hard and how you want to conquer, like some shit like that. But you're like, yeah, dude, you're right.
It's true.
This is exact, because I mean, I talk about that on like my social media or whatever, but like there are a lot of parallels to like, you know, how you push yourself in the gym or in the studio versus like pushing yourself past that comfort zone in your career.
Yeah. Just
or
in life
whatever
in
you're.
general.
Exactly.
It's like I always say, coming into this space, whatever movement modality you're choosing, it's like a little laboratory, and you get to figure out your triggers and what shit like upsets you. You know, it's funny to watch the amount of people sit in a plank for a couple breaths and want to fucking
they're like, peace out. Yeah, they're like, I can't do it. Yeah, come on, dude.
Exactly. And I'm
so
like,
mad.
Yeah, and I'm
like,
like,
being a bitch.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's my.
I would love for you to say that in class. Quit being a bitch.
Oh,
I want to
start immediately.
Yeah. So I remember. Okay, so you know, I would try to go to your classes, but then like, you know, just wasn't working. I'm like, I got to go, and I would try different people.
Yeah.
And I remember being in class, and one of the trainers, instructors, there was a guy there in class that was there for the first time, and he was, I think his girlfriend brought him. Or maybe just a friend I think it was his girlfriend. And I remember the instructor like, okay, hold it. We're going to hold this for a minute. No, hold it. Keep your hips up. Come on. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Like this person is intense.
I know what you're talking about now.
That person's not there anymore.
No.
But I was like, wow, this is like not the same yoga experience I had at all.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's, you know, everyone has different styles. You know, there's good.
They do. Not to say that what they were doing was wrong by any means.
Everyone just has different styles.
Exactly.
And I mean, I just thought it was funny, but I could see how maybe someone else would be bothered by it.
Yeah, not even bothered by it, but we're so driven to push ourselves in any capacity in a way that's ego-based in the yoga space, the workout space, and in our lives. And this idea of like push yourself, push yourself, push yourself. Sometimes it's like the hard part is not pushing yourself.
No, I always push myself.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit, dude.
I'm sure.
I don't fuck around.
But,
the camera adds 10 pounds, Erie. I can't fuck around.
I can't get the theme of this podcast.
And, you know, I got to be on camera. I got to be on stage. Like, those stage lights don't lie.
No, they don't lie.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to push yourself.
So, if you don't mind, what are the benefits of, first, let's say it's someone that's never done hot yoga, for example.
Sure.
Let's talk about the benefits because there's a difference.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Compared to regular yoga, you mean?
Or anything. Yeah. I mean, I guess we can compare it.
Yeah, we can compare it. I mean, I don't really like to compare it.
Let's just say the benefits of
the benefits. I think of yoga. I think it can be a little bit of a trick in a beautiful way. You come into the room because you're like, especially Y7, you're like, damn, I want a hard workout and this is yoga and it's hip hop and I'm going to stretch at the same time. So you're getting this multi-benefited kind of workout that can be a little cardio-esque, but you're also stretching, which I think everybody talks about. Like, I need to be stretching, or I'm not flexible, whatever.
Right.
I mean, who really gives a shit? And I think you get tricked into then sort of accessing bigger parts of yourself or becoming more vulnerable than you were, or thinking like, oh, I never thought about this, or I've never thought about this in relation to myself. So yes, you can become more flexible. You will find more stability physically. Great benefits as far as that goes. But I think the bigger benefits are in diving into yourself more and looking at yourself more in a different light while moving physically.
So like I'm sitting in a yoga class and I realize that there's a hot girl to the right of me.
Oh, yeah.
Hypothetically speaking. So does that make me a bad person? Because I'm looking into myself and now I realize.
Yeah, you're looking into yourself.
I'm like, I shouldn't be noticing there's a hot girl next to me. But what about like the heat though? Because there's a benefit from that. There's supposed to be. I think pushing yourself past perceived limits, the heat has the ability to do that. I find especially at Y7 when we have that final little push. Hate that one.
Yeah.
That's my least favorite.
Everybody hates it.
It fucks in my mind.
Oh, it does.
Because you think you're done.
You think you're done and then you're not. But it's also... it's a trick on purpose. And I think when you finish the third flow, if you've been to Y7, it's 3 flows 3 times each. And after you finish the third flow, which is the most intense, you're like, fuck me, dude. You're like, I'm exhausted. We're laying down. I'm never getting back up. And then the teacher's like, all right, one last.
If you're ready for one more thing, you're like, wait, one more thing? I thought we were done, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked up.
I've talked to students before who were like, I was angry. I was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, there's no way I can do this. And then you surprise yourself.
Always.
And you fucking do it.
Yeah.
And it's this powerful moment of where you broke past what you thought you were capable of. And that shit is amazing.
Yeah.
And you finish that piece and you're like, I'm a fucking shit.
And now I'm done.
And now I'm done.
I do
and now
say
you're
that
done
too.
for real.
I think that too.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I think it's still a parallel into, like, I took a yoga class at Nike, actually.
Oh, cool.
Did you go to the summer thing they had at the last summer?
No.
They had like a makeshift Nike
I heard
gym.
about this, but I didn't.
So
right. They would do it on weekends, right?
They were doing like every day almost. Like the bigger
it's in
events.
Hollywood, right?
Yeah, right on Coenga.
Okay. I taught a different event there for Puma, but I didn't do the Nike one.
We can't talk about Puma here. I'm just kidding. But I took a yoga class with their master yoga instructor. I think his name is Brian.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but he's like on like all the Nike yoga stuff. Like he's like the guy, but he's like an instructor. Yeah. But it was funny because, you know, at that one, it was like all like influencers and athletes and whatever. And he was like, we're going to do these poses. And he's like, it's going to seem uncomfortable, you know, all those things. He's like, I can tell a lot by a person by how long they can stay in something.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm judging because, you know, like he's saying, I'm judging the fuck out of you if you can't just fucking push yourself for 30 seconds.
Intense to say.
Yeah.
But there is a truth to that. And I don't think he means that in a negative way by any means.
Yeah.
But it is... I think that's why I say the room is like a laboratory, because when you're in these uncomfortable spaces, you really get to see how you fucking react.
Yeah.
And how you react in a plank is the same way that you react when you're having a conversation with your partner and shit is getting heated and you want to fucking leave. Like, it's the same thing. And so noticing those little things in a space where it's just about you and not about another person, I think is where you can really learn. Because anytime we're outside in the real world, we can always be like, oh, well, this happened because this person was that way, or this happened because of this external thing. But when you're in the yoga space, especially at Y7, I think you get the ability to be like, wow, I can't blame anybody else. I can't look to anybody else. Like, this is just me and my shit.
Yeah. Do you teach anywhere else?
I do. I teach it. I teach for Soho House. I teach for a studio called Yoga Vibe.
Yoga Vibe.
Yoga Vibe. It's in,
I've never even heard of that place.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great. It's beautiful. They own Black Dog Yoga in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, a really cool studio. There's Yoga Vibe Los Feliz, which is right on Hillhurst. And there's Yoga Vibe WeHo, which is right off of Santa Monica. By that Trader Joe's. You know, by the near the Target.
By Target. Okay. Yeah.
It's cool. It's a really sweet mom and pop studio.
Okay. How many classes do you teach per week?
Right now, I teach 12 about.
Okay.
I'm pretty light.
Yeah, that's pretty light.
It's pretty good.
What do you do the rest of the time?
For Y7, I am a teaching manager.
Oh.
I hire our teachers.
Okay.
And I train our new hires.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'll check up. Me and another amazing instructor, Rob, take his class.
I love Rob.
He's so good.
Can I tell you a secret about Rob?
I'm ready.
Okay, so have you ever taken yoga, Paul?
Oh, Paul.
Does this conversation make you want to take yoga? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So this is another thing that, like, I think I'm sure yoga has something to do with it, but I'm really weird about being touched.
Yes, a lot of people are for various
I was
reasons.
At least.
Yeah.
And then, in class, it's like, but I also I want to be doing something right. So if the instructor comes, but there's also like a weird thing because, it's so hot in there that, for me, I'll have my shirt off and whatever. It's like, oh, like this person's going to be adjusting me and touching me. Like it's weird. And it was weird at first. And I also have, this weird, I hate my feet. I hate feet, period.
Yeah, I can agree with you there.
Especially my feet. And I don't want anyone touching my feet. And I don't want to touch anyone's feet. And I remember,
especially in that sweaty room. I don't
anywhere, I can count the times I've massaged my girlfriend's feet less than one hand.
I've never let a single person do that
ever.
To me, and I'm not going to start.
Oh, okay, good for you. See, so we can agree. It's weird.
I don't.
I remember I was in class with Melissa, and I forget we were like I think we were just doing I don't know, whatever you call that when you reach over
forward fold,
and but we were sitting.
Pajamottanasana, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Pajamottanasana. Probably saying the Sanskrit.
Which is Sanskrit for
seated forward fold.
Okay. Got it. And she put her feet up against mine, and for to help me. Yeah. And for a split second, I was like, "Oh fuck, dude!" Like I almost freaked the fuck out. But she's such a she's very she's great. Like she puts off really good energy.
She does.
And that's a big thing.
You feel safe.
You do feel safe, and that's a big thing for me. Just not just in a yoga suit, but in life, people's energy. There's definitely something to that.
Hell yeah.
Some people have really good energy. Some people do not have really good energy.
I can't be around you.
Yeah, and she has great energy.
Yeah.
And so that kind of I was like, okay, it's not so bad. But Rob will touch a lot. And
Rob will too.
I remember being in there and, I'm a guy and it is what it is. And I was like, I don't know if I want a fucking dude touching me, man. It's just a little weird. But he's so good.
He is.
He has a way of speaking, and same thing. He has a very nurturing quality, but also his classes are also very challenging.
Yeah.
Then he'll adjust, and it's like, I'm all right in this space. I'm totally fine with this dude touching me right now, and it's fine. So it's good for him.
No, I mean that is good. And
but girls love Rob. Everybody, yes.
Well, everybody loves Rob.
Well, I mean, fair, yeah. Whenever I've spoken to someone that's gone there, that's oh, who do you like? I'm like, oh, I like Ari. I also like Melissa.
Yeah.
And then the girls are like, I love Rob. I'm like, oh, I bet you do. I bet you love Rob. But he's he's in great shape, which is
beanpole.
Huh?
A little beanpole.
He's ripped though.
I know.
And that's something for me, like I said, what I used to think of yoga and what I think now, it's it doesn't have to be this stereotypical,
no.
pussy guy or just girls. Anyone can professional athletes do yoga. And,
they do. It's for
dudes like Joe Rogan talks about yoga all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. He does it, but he does 90-minute hot yoga. And I'm like, fuck that, dude.
That's long. That sounds lit though.
At Hot 8, they have a 90-minute class.
They do.
And it's like 100 and something degrees.
I can't fuck with that kind of hot.
I can't. Like, you get out of the class and your hands are like wrinkly and stuff. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
I think Y7 is the perfect amount of heat.
Me
Other
too.
than that, I don't think that it's good for you. Personally.
Okay.
Unless
I think it's too hot.
Specific type of person. I think you and I both are very extroverted, energetic people. And I think
You think I'm extroverted?
That's rare. I mean, I know. It's pretty wild that I would say
Do you think I'm extroverted, Paul? I don't think so either.
You don't think you're extroverted?
No.
Okay, well then I don't know you well enough. I would say that you can talk to people more easily.
I don't think so either.
Oh wow! Maybe I think I just assumed that because you're a comedian.
But I mean, maybe that.
So the heat might be good for you.
That is a common. I think misconception is that people think comedians are like
extroverted.
super. Like,
well, that's true.
When I'm on stage, I'm extroverted as
you
fuck.
have to
like
be.
Kind of, but it's
sort of.
It's definitely my style. Like I'm super energetic on stage.
Well, it's funny you say that because I watched. You know that show with Jerry Seinfeld, Riding in Cars with the Comedians? Mm-hmm. I watched the one with Dave Chappelle, and I think maybe I'd had the same thought about Dave Chappelle, and I watched that episode, and I was like, Dave Chappelle's very awkward.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, I don't like talking to people, man.
Literally. And I was like, that's so interesting. So, that really makes sense.
I think a lot of comedians, when we're on, it's like, yeah, we're on, but off, it's like, I'm not outgoing.
Different. Okay, not
and
at all.
Okay. And that's another thing, like, for me going into like the studio, like you were very welcoming, and it kind of helped because I was like, okay, cool. Like I don't feel as self-conscious or not self-conscious, but
that's
you know what I mean?
Good to
like,
know because
brought my walls down.
Talking to people.
It brought my walls down a little bit. Like in appropriate settings, like if I'm introducing people, like in the right setting, it's fine. But like I can't just make conversation with strangers or like even other comics. Like for real. Like there's so many comics, and it's like. I'll do shows with people and like I'll introduce myself to people and stuff, but like it's just hard for me to start talking to people.
That's interesting.
Like I can talk to you, but I can talk to people like in this setting and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, what's a structured setting?
But so you think that the heat does something for
heat? I mean, if you go back to like, I'm not super knowledgeable on this, but Ayurveda, which is like the ancient science of yoga.
What was it?
Ayurveda.
We're learning so many Sanskrit words today.
Ayurveda, ancient science of yoga, not of yoga, but really ancient Indian science that they used to.
Indian dot, not feather.
No,
India.
Like India. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, let's say Hindi. Maybe it's related to that religion. I'm really butchering this, so please, no one.
It's okay. No one judges.
Thank you so much.
You've already taught us so much.
Wow, thank you. So they have these things called doshas, which is essentially, I wouldn't call them personality types, but that's like the easiest way for me to translate it. It's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And there are three different sort of personality realms. Like Pitta is a really like fiery person. Like you think of a politician as Pitta. They're super outgoing, very easy to talk to. I want to say Kapha is like really motherly, like a motherly vibe. Like
so you're
warm. Some people told me I'm tri-doshic. I'm all three.
Oh,
but I like to
all three.
I think I'm turning into more Pitta as I get older.
Oh.
And then it sounds like you might be Vata. It's more of like the loner. It's more of the introverted person, like more introspective, a little funkier, a little different.
You're saying I'm different?
Basically.
Okay.
It's really
that's fine. I'm fine with it.
To get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also have these personality traits are tied to seasons, what food you should be eating.
Oh.
So seasons is in like what temperatures are good for you. So if I'm a Pitta person and I'm really fiery, it's not going to be healthy for me to be in the heat all the time because I'm just lighting up this energetic side of myself when what I really need is like cool. Like I need to calm down. I need to chill out. You're trying to put yourself in the balance essentially.
Interesting.
So heat might be good for you because it might help you become more energized, become more whatever.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No, it's interesting to look at. I know people, there's a teacher at Y7, Olivia. She's amazing. She's super knowledgeable on it.
Which one's Olivia?
Olivia, she's super tall with the brown curly hair.
I don't know if I've had her.
Yeah, she teaches like really early Wednesday and then at Silver Lake.
Oh yeah, never. I've never been to the Silver Lake one. I know.
You should come.
It's so far, dude. Like
wait, where do you live?
Well, now I live in Beverly Hills. I just moved.
That is farther.
I could walk to Melrose. It's like a mile, 1.1 or something. Maybe 1 point, maybe a little bit longer than that, but I walk everywhere now.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's like
I
an
hate
LA
it.
dream.
Like when I was in Sherman Oaks, it was cool, but it was just like I would spend like an hour to drive over here and
to bump over the hill
back, and it's just like now it's just like I walk, go home for lunch, come back, walk to the club. That's the best, dude.
I love that.
But Silver Lake is just like
the studios. You were gonna go to that studio and be like,
far.
Wow.
I mean, it looks. I pass it all the time because it's right there on Sunset. I pass it.
You do, well,
on my way to Dodger games all the time.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, come on, sort of before you go to a game, do a little pregame.
Do they have a shower there too?
They do. They have an outdoor shower. They have some indoor, but they also have an outdoor shower.
What do you mean outdoor shower?
It's outdoors.
I don't know what that means.
It's outdoor. It's in the open air. It's enclosed, so obviously no one's going to see you butt naked. But it's an outdoor shower.
So like you're outdoors, like in the woods.
Yeah, you are.
But no one can see you, obviously.
No. One time I had a student want me to take pictures of her in the shower for her Instagram. Yes.
Like naked pictures?
Yes. Like right after class, she was like, hi, thank you so much. Like I loved your class. Do you mind taking some pictures of me in the shower? And I was like had not met her. First time taking my class. I was like, okay. So she's like, one thing to be tasteful. They're going to go on Instagram. They can't be butt naked because Instagram won't let you have butt naked pics.
You can have butt. You just can't have boobs.
You can't have butt. Yes. And so she's like, kind of a tasteful butt nude. I was like, perfect. Sure. I mean, I saw her full naked body. I don't think she meant for that to happen. But she's like trying to hold the door open because the door closes on its own. Trying to like look hot in the shower. I'm like bending down low, really getting her worst angle as possible.
Right. You got to get a higher angle. Everyone knows that.
Really? For yoga poses, it's lower.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Because you want to, if you're looking at the yoga pose from a higher space, it just doesn't look as good.
And I love how you always post like random yoga stuff. But like with a message. Thank
you. I've been getting really tired of that recently, and I haven't posted in a long time. The bullshit of Instagram fucking gets to me sometimes.
It's part of my job, man.
Well, that's what people always tell me. Like your Instagram is like your business, and I'm like,
it is.
Yeah, it is. But
I mean, I'm actually like trying to do more on like all the social media platforms.
I mean, I am too in my brain, but it's not happening.
I just have to because
no, that's good. You have to.
You just never know.
I think for comedy, fitness. Anything, acting,
anything, but especially those things.
Yeah, because you're having to like show parts of yourself. I think the yoga,
but we're also everyone's on their phones.
We are, so that's what you're seeing all the time.
Everyone is on their phones.
The yoga one annoys me because it's like, let me post this picture of this yoga pose and then sort of like spill to you my deepest secret.
You don't like doing it. I
used to.
Okay,
and I'm in this phase right now where I'm like, just feels bullshitty.
But that's exactly what I mean by when you say things in class. I actually think that you mean it.
Thank you. I tried to.
Versus just doing it because you think it's what you're supposed to say. Because now you're saying like you don't want to post something with this artificial thing because you don't want to, so you won't.
Yeah,
and that's
so
great.
I won't.
You should.
I mean, I will eventually, but I won't. But it is hard to be like, okay, now let me spill my soul in this Instagram post that.
What else do you do fitness-wise, or do you just do yoga?
Well, so I've just recently, and maybe I'll make my way to Model Fit now that I'm branching out. I just recently started, I've been doing SoulCycle for a while on and off.
That's fair.
And I just started going to Barry's.
You don't have to love it.
I like it. It has some similarities to Y7 to me, just with the spiritual aspect.
SoulCycle?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've only been once. And
I think
I don't love
the
spin.
Right teacher. Yeah, I feel you.
I just don't love spin. I don't care who it is.
It's funny to me that they are such a large company and that spin in general is as popular as it is because I feel like I talk to so many people who are like, no, I hate spin. Bye.
I could run 15 miles right now, but I just don't like being on a bike.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it. I enjoy it. I like riding to the
I also don't like, I don't want to talk shit, but.
I'm ready.
No, it's just boring to me. Even though it's a good workout.
No, that's fair.
Like Rise Nation, for example.
I've never been.
It's right by Y7.
It's the Stairmaster.
Yeah, it's a Versa climber.
It's boring?
You're just on the thing for a half hour. And it's fine. Like, I get why people like it because it's very similar to SoulCycle. Like, they turn down the lights
cardio,
and you have the black lights and the music. And
yeah, it's vibey.
Exactly. So I get that. And I get that it's only a half hour, which is what people love too.
Exactly. You're in and you're out.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just don't love it.
I mean, I've never been, so I don't know what you mean, but
Okay.
I know what you mean. And I've started going to Barry's as well, which I like that. I like the lifting weight portion compared to the cardio. And I don't mind the running, which is very shocking for me.
Huh.
I need to come. You know who? I started taking Sam G's dance tone when she was here. And it must be similar to Model
Did she
Fit.
move back?
She's in New York for a while, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes me be like, I need to come to Model Fit.
Yeah, come. Whenever you want.
Thank you.
Whenever you want.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I've been telling you that for like 2 years.
Yeah, you have been.
It's fine.
And I get it free. So
yeah, exactly. It's a perk. It's the perk, dude.
It's the perk.
It's a perk.
And you go buy something for free still, right?
Yeah, but don't tell anyone that. Now that they can think I'm an asshole.
Oh, what? No. Oh, oops.
It's okay. I don't care.
Well, you work for it.
Yeah,
you work for it.
It's a work perk.
It's a work perk.
Yeah.
You work for that shit.
And because you
None
guys,
of us are getting
you guys get like you guys have agreements with a lot of people, right?
A lot. It's
and
fucking.
I feel like not everybody takes advantage of those.
No, not at
great.
all. It's hard to pull yourself out of your bubble.
It is, but I think it's that's one thing that I want to at least share with this podcast, not just this specific episode, but in general, is like yoga's great.
Hell yeah.
You know, if you like boxing, boxing's great. Like there's all these things that are great. And I'm a firm believer that you should do different things.
100%.
I think your body gets bored. I think the same repetitive, I mean, not just me, but the same repetitive movements can lead to injury ultimately if you're not training in different modalities, different apparatuses, or just different types of workouts.
Oh, 100%. You need a combo.
And I think you just need to try those different things. Just to see what you really like.
And it opens you up to stuff. Like I didn't take berries forever because I was scared.
Yeah.
Which is so funny to look back. I'm like, why was I scared?
Yeah, why were you scared?
The thought of a really intense, I think I was like, I was afraid to fail, I guess. I was afraid for it to be so hard and for me to be so fucking tired that I was like, I hate this. What am I doing? So I was afraid to fail, I think.
Okay. And you made it. You lived.
I made it. I mean, maybe I probably failed, but I made it. And who fucking cares, really? Yeah. That's the other thing. Who cares? Like, try these things out and be a fool. Be bad.
Yeah.
Being a beginner is fucking amazing.
I love boxing because I'm so not good at it.
Yes.
Like
it's beautiful to be a beginner.
Because like as an athlete, like, and a former dancer myself, like I can pick up things pretty fast.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But when I take boxing, it's like, you have it like in your mind, like, okay, it's, you know, let's say jab, cross, duck, slip, left hook. You're like, okay, cool. Like I got it. And then you do it like you're sparring and you fuck it up and you're like, fuck, dude. Like I had it in my mind, but it was just like,
putting it in your body.
It was just like when I was a dancer, like you would learn the routine and you would, you know, do it a million times to practice. And then like you'd be at the audition and you do that routine and you'd fuck up. You're like, no, dude,
but
I had it so good just outside while I was practicing. And now it's like, God damn it. But like, I like that. I like being challenged.
See, I like it and I hate it.
There's a study, I forget who did it, some university, but that was showing that when you do certain workouts, a lot of times, the sweat and all that goes along with it is more because the muscles in your brain are being challenged because you're taking them out of their comfort zone and teaching them new skills. And that makes you sweat because you're not used, so you don't know what to expect and so forth. And I was like, it makes sense.
And it does make sense. I think that's true for any workout. Especially ones where you're having to listen to what someone's saying. I'm sure boxing is like that. It's choreography in a way. And I think yoga is similar. You're using a piece of your brain. I can't tell you the amount of times I've watched someone at Y7 like look around to be like, what's happening? What are people doing? And I'm like, Sam G says this and I've started saying it. She's always like, open your ears. And I think that's such a cool thing to do. And I think any workout can make you look at things in a different way, physically or otherwise.
And that's tough at your studio because you guys don't have mirrors.
Hell yeah. But I think that's great. I don't know. No shade on mirror studios, but lots of shade. I think it has its benefits and it also has its downsides.
The benefit of having mirrors in the studio is that you can check people out without them noticing that you're checking them out.
That's true too. Yeah. And you can, the amount of like, I've taken a sculpt class quite a few times.
Don't like those.
With a good friend of mine. Oh, I love them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Brandon.
Like yoga sculpt.
Alexander. teaches an amazing one. Yeah, teaches an amazing one. He doesn't anymore, but he used to. And I used to watch this woman squat and just stare at her butt going down.
That's fair.
Like we would be doing a squat with feet tight together, and she would have her feet wide in order for her butt to sort of like explode larger at the bottom, and then just watch herself the whole way down. I was like, no, I don't think so.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on the internet or on social media or whatever?
Let me spell it out literally. So if Instagram is really my main, I'm not a Twitter gal. Facebook, who does that anymore? Ariadne,
I have to do all those.
Oh, you do?
I have to.
I mean, I wish I did Twitter because I feel like it's a big news outlet.
Totally.
So maybe I'll do it.
And also arguing with people for no reason.
That's comedy. My Instagram handle is Ariadne VD. That's ARIADNE VD.
Okay.
That's my biggest face where you can find me.
Yeah.
That's Instagram.
You're like Instagram famous. Yeah.
My own brain. No, not at all.
Yeah. And then do you have anything coming up exciting that you want to share with people maybe? If they're listening?
I feel like I do, but I don't think I do. I'm teaching all the time.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to come take my class.
Come take Ari's class.
It's Ari.
Ari, I know. I just said Ari. I
You were
said
doing so
right
good,
a
Peter.
million times. I'm not biased. I think she's the best in LA.
Oh my God.
And I've taken a lot now since you've opened up my horizon. I just feel the best when I take her class.
Thank you so much.
Nothing against, I'm sure there's a lot of other great ones, but you're my favorite.
There are.
So that's why you get to be in my podcast.
But I'm really honored that you would say that.
So yeah, take a yoga or a hot yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
Or literally anything else.
Yeah, literally anything else.
Find something you like.
You should just listen to this podcast and move.
Yeah, I think find something you like is, for me, that's the main thing.
But that's also the catalyst. Find something you like, and then from there, get comfy and start trying out other stuff.
And then start getting uncomfortable. That's the best.
Hell yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you to Ari for coming today. Go visit her. Follow her on social media. This is going to go, my album, my comedy album, my brand new comedy album comes out May 23rd. It's called Man of the Hood. It's a lot. I'm very proud of it. So if you're listening, it's going to be on iTunes. What's the other one? Google Play, Amazon Music, CD Baby, like all those places where you can buy music. But this is not music, obviously. It's comedy. And then I'll be at the Edgewater Casino in Laughlin, Nevada, May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. And that's the only thing I have coming up like this within the next couple weeks. That's going to be on the road. So yeah, if you're listening and you're going to be there, come. All right. Thanks, guys. This has been The Camera Adds 10 Pounds. Peter Sers with my guest, Ari, the queen of yoga. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.